Here I have a MG TD or TF race chassis, all custom tube frame. It's got the front ends. I forget the name of the leaf spring front end, but it has a TF suspension modified for this leaf spring front end that was very common in the 50s. Like Ferraris had these and other exotics. It probably wasn't as good as the original front end that was on here, but you know, that was the time. And we have these like supports. It's all inch and an eighth, I believe, tubing. So it's extremely sturdy. This, you can see there's the TF mounts, and then there's here's like a radiator tubing to go to a radiator in the front. It's got Elfin brakes. It's got the 15-inch wire wheels. I thought they were aluminum at first because of the color, but they're actually appear to be steel. And then this had like a remote oiling system. It looks like a dry sump. Of course, a lot of this is missing, but there's I could see at the oil filter there's a bunch of burned oil on it. So this was a running, driving race car at one time. And unfortunately, I'm missing a lot of the history. So we have here, there's the TF TD trans mount, and then there's a series of gauges that are missing. So there's just a, I don't know, is it a Jaeger or something? We come back here, we have these supports for the rear end. And this is actually not a Dana rear end. I'm sorry, this is not a MG rear end. This is a Dana, like a 23 or a 27 or something in that range, one of the 20 series. And then we have actually quite a large gas tank. And then here's you got the original fuel pump. And then we have support bars to stop any lateral play at the rear end. And then actually there's a it's hard to see, but there's this piece that's been modified on the rear cover for the rear differential cooling. So there's kind of a lot of cool stuff going on with this. This is a project I would like to put together, but I'm not sure I'll be able to have the time. I was pretty ambitious, and then yeah, there's just other stuff happening. And yeah, Elfin brakes all the way around, and then the rest of the brake parts, you can see the backing plates are missing along with the shoes, but they're all in these boxes. It's just brake parts. So this is a TDTF, I think a TF rack and pinion turned upside down for right-hand drive. Right-hand drive was common in racing at the time. It was thought that, I don't know, I read somewhere that the way the tracks were laid out, that there was a slight advantage to the driver being on the right side because there was more right turns than left turns or something. I don't remember what it was. It's not my explanation. I'm not going to take responsibility for it, but that's what I had read. Because otherwise it really doesn't make any difference whatsoever. My plan was to take the motor out of this TC, change the front mount, and fabricate a rear mount and put in the stronger TC gearbox along with this. I'll show you the motor, why I wanted to do that. So I have a supercharged TC engine with a Mallory dual point ignition. And then I have access to a Cestitalia fiberglass body that I wanted to put on top of this, called an Atlas or an Allied. Atlas or Allied Swallow. It was both names came over that. You'll have to look that up online. But yeah, this is super interesting. But for the right offer, I would let it go.